she'll eat pieces of all of that stuff.
Is that fiber?
Yeah, good fiber, high protein, low or high low protein, high fiber diet. So trees, bushes, dry grass, bark. They so they'll actually knock a tree over and eat the entire tree eventually. As it rots, they'll eat. They love the rotten wood, but she's eating pieces of wood over there right now.
You feed them hay sometimes?
Yeah, we give them hay, just grass hay. Sometimes oat hay or wheat hay, and but really in captivity, we give them too good of a diet. They really shouldn't be eating. When we train them, we give them carrots, we give them pumpkins and things that they wouldn't be running across in the wild. But when we do training, we give them little treats, and we have I don't have my whistle with me, but it's a dog whistle, and you have a stick with like a ball on the end of it, a bamboo stick with like a paper towels wrapped with masking tape. So it looks like a little ball, and we call it a target. And you can train anything with it, by conditioning them to the ball. And so these guys will do, the first thing you want them to do is to come over and touch their head to it. And so these, they come in totally untrained, or they come in after being hit with bull hooks and jerked around with bull hooks for their whole life. Every single thing they've ever done is because they were afraid of the bull hook. And it's a weapon, and it's something that should be outlawed, and next year it will be outlawed. But it's circus training, and about half the zoos still use it. So they come in being afraid of the trainer, and you want them to forget all about that and come to the trainer because they want to come. So you hold up the target. I should have brought a target, but because I could train you. You can't train, it's harder to train women. Older men you can't train. But you hold the target out, and you keep it real still so they know it's not going to be used to hit them. And Nicholas, have you seen Nicholas yet, the bull? Well, when you get up and see him, he's 12,000 pounds. He's 10 feet tall, and it wouldn't take much for him to kill you. So you want him to be happy. But he had a bull hook used on him his whole life. So that's all he knew, is to react to the bull hook. And the hook will, you know what, Deb, I got one. It's under the seat of my truck. I was using it. I showed people last week at seeing the elephant. And I don't think these guys know too much.
How old was Nicholas when he had to ride a tricycle?
Oh, good question. Well, Nick was about 2, and he was riding a tricycle. That was why. I mean, he's an endangered species, and why he was born into this world in captivity to do a stupid circus act, and for about 2 or 3 years he did it. So he would walk on a beam, he'd ride on a tricycle, he would do anything that they wanted him to do because he was afraid not to. When he was about 5, he said, "That's it, I'm done. I don't care how many times you hit me, I don't care how many times you hooked me, I'm not doing it anymore." And he started to run away from him. So they stuck him in a barn, and the inside of the barn, the stall was about 20 feet by 20 feet. And he was in there for most of 9 years. And Bob Barker wanted, he called us and wanted us to take Nicholas. And Pat Derby, most of you know Pat Derby passed away, and she was my partner. And now that she's gone, I know how much she set me up in my life. You know, she and Barker just set me up. It was so easy. And so they said, well, I said, no, bulls are too dangerous. They're too big. They're too strong. It's too hard to build big areas for them. And so they said, well, just go look at him. Just go see him. And because the USDA wanted to place him, wanted to get him out of where he was. So I went and saw him, and it was this tiny, tiny concrete stall where he lived. And he was actually in there with Gypsy. He was only 13, so he wasn't mature yet. So 2 elephants in a 20 by 20, and it probably was more like 16 by 16 stall. And they didn't think, the circus people said that there was nothing wrong with that. They said, see, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with this. I thought, my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, an elephant in. And so obviously I went back and called Pat and called Barker and said, okay, we'll take him. I know we can do better than that for him. So when Nick came, he was really afraid of being hit. And so we made sure that, you know, we calmed him down and only trained him with targets. And now he'll do anything. I mean, he'll put his feet up to be trimmed. He'll keep his foot up for an hour without even ever taking it down. Huh?
Ride a tricycle?
No, he's not going to ride a tricycle. He would probably destroy one.
He'd probably throw it at you.